Hi everybody, happy Sunday. I just returned from the spiritualist church, serving them in Rehoboth. And I was driving because I've been wanting to make a video, which probably be a few actually separate videos that I will be doing, regarding a few changes with the energies over the last few weeks and what is happening. But I've been struggling with some of the content, primarily because how can we put all of what's been happening in such few words? And for those of you who know that sometimes my videos can go a little bit long, and I'm trying to find a way to say the same message in fewer words. So we might have to do this over a series of videos this week, and I'm hoping that Spirit will help me with this. So today was a very enlightening day, and I'm sitting here, actually I'm at Arnie's house, and I don't know if you can see, but kind of maybe move this up, but this tree is loaded with apples galore. And as you can kind of see here, I've got a whole table full of those beautiful magical apples that I'm hoping to make some amazing things with this week. So just to kind of give you an update, I did take August off, and mostly of events, trying to figure out how to strategize and plan and find a way to better organize what my intentions are to better help and guide not only just myself and fulfilling my needs and my life path, but also yours as well, and how can I be more of service to you without spreading things too thin. Growing pains are good, but it's also important to kind of take a step back, so I'm making sure that I'm in the right direction. So one of the things we talked about today, I was going to just pulling some of my notes that I used for today, that I used at the church, and one of the things we talked about at the church as part of my lecture is that we talked about, that we're all energy, okay? Energy can neither be created nor destroyed. With all these shifts that are happening with the planet and with our society and everything else, the universe doesn't see things as good or bad. That's only our human ego. So as spiritual beings, we need to kind of take a step back and say, okay, how am I either contributing either for my growth or not? Okay, so we are all being called to a higher calling right now, and the universe doesn't see things as good or bad. That's only really our kind of our human ego, really, and that we are actually being driven to be a part of a larger piece of a larger puzzle. So our challenges, I even look at this from a small business standpoint, right? With a small business, we're kind of told, have a business plan, know how many people you need to talk to yield how many people that will become clients, and with that will yield how much business you will actually yield as a result. And I will say the hardest thing that I've had to do with 13 years is to undo all of that training and mindset. And the more I worked on my own self and my core, my healing, my path, the more doors just kind of opened up. And that's pretty much what the universe is showing us right now, is that we are, one of the principles of the spiritualist churches is that, we are part of the infinite intelligence. What does that really mean? Whether it's Great Spirit, whether it's God, Allah, Jehovah, Buddha, whoever it is, that's all connected to that infinite intelligence, and we're all part of that, okay? And that we are supposed to be beacons for others that may be lost. So one of the things I see is that a lot of us, when we are going through, hi Sue, when we go through a lot of these growths and start reclaiming and tapping back into our spiritual powers and our spiritual beings, sometimes it can feel a lonely road. I see this a lot with our youth right now, and the youth is feeling very disconnected, or they feel like they're not understood. Nobody understands them. You feel very lonely. So sometimes when we go through this spiritual awakening, that's kind of how we feel. But I'm here to tell you that those days are changing. Even within the spiritual community, we may feel that way, okay? We either think we have, it's the old saying is that we feel alone in a crowd. How many of you feel that way? Sometimes you feel alone in a crowd. But those are changing. The universe is showing us. What we need to do right now is to get the clarity, okay? And to get a clarity of who we are so that, and clean out the stuck crap and that is clogging our pipes and clogging our flow, and so that way those that are lost can find us, okay? And that's what my experience has been, is the more I worked on me, the more all these things happened, the more people just started to find me. And everything is changing. So I just wanted to bring that up as we started. It was just a small little glimpse of some of my talk that I did, because it's interesting. Just to, just before we did this. And it's interesting, Eagle has been around me all year this year. I saw it twice. For those who've seen my previous videos, twice I've seen bald eagle around my office this year. And that's the first time. I grew up in this area. I've never seen a bald eagle ever around my office. And I've seen it twice this year, just around my office. And what do I see with bald eagle? I see bald eagle, sometimes we associate it with the American flag, we see it associated with, freedom. But what I see the bald eagle associated with is the ability to rise above the clouds, rise above those storms and soar above it. Not just go through it, but rise above it. And I think sometimes we miss that message. And it's funny because I pulled a secondary card. And it talks about surrendering to your full power. This is how the universe shows us, right? The intricacies of how all these things, I can pull all these tools out of my thing, but between what we spoke at the church today versus the cards that we're pulling right now, is that we are supposed to surrender to our full power. Well, how do we do that? It's about surrendering to who we are, standing in our truth. So this summer, this whole year, and it's been leading up the past few years, okay, with the energies kind of clearing out and bringing even traumas to the surface, whether it's yours, whether it's generational, whether it's karmic. This whole divine feminine that's rising, the planetary shifts, the cosmic shifts. It's all about cleaning out our gutters, cleaning out our pipes. So that way we are ready and we are prepared for this new wave of energy that's coming. How many of you are feeling that? Okay, it's changing, I promise you. But we have to go through the stuff, and unfortunately our human nature, we just kind of say, you know what, I don't want to deal with it. So we shove it underneath the rug, right? And we can't do that anymore, because in order for us to be in our full power, we have to acknowledge that. We have to love our shadows. We have to bring those shadows to the light. We can't be afraid of them. If we're afraid of them, then we're losing our power, we're turning our power over. This is about reclaiming your power, all right? So we are in a very interesting time, and I don't do astrology, but I do feel the energies very strongly. And what I've seen, especially since how are your dreams, by the way? Dreams have been pretty profound. They're going to tell you a lot, too. But the energies are all aligning, if you've been doing your work, to open you up. I feel it's like I've been a big, kind of rubber band snap, right? Rubber band snap. So we have a bunch of events coming up. I'll just name one or two. You can always go into my website, www.laurahealingwithspirit.com, to learn more. The empath class that we had scheduled initially in October, I had to reschedule because we were trying to find, unfortunately, a date for the secondary women's retreat, which Spirit has told me is excruciatingly important, that we need to do this. And the feedback we got from the last one was so immense that we had to. And unfortunately, the date that we had falls very closely with the empath class, and I just couldn't do two in one weekend. So that class will be rescheduled. But the women's retreat, for those of you who are searching, who need that community, it might be very important for you to attend. It's about all three bodies. So this retreat is specifically designed. I've been doing retreats since 2012, and each time I tweak it and we tweak it. And I am bringing in a friend of mine named Deneen McQueen, who's going to be ending our retreat with an amazing journey dance, which is going to take everything that we're doing in the mind, in the body, self-discovery, and all the self-care, but doing it in a community of sisterhood and support with no judgment, okay? And she's going to take it and bring what we're learning about ourselves and using it through form and movement. And it's a very powerful thing. The feedback was so strong that we were encouraged to do another one, and we're hoping to do 3 next year. So it's on Saturday, October 20th. And for those who are interested, and we're doing it at Glastonbury Abbey, which was one of my top choices, and that's located in Hingham, and they have a fabulous labyrinth, they have a fabulous nature trail, so we're going to be indoors and outdoors, and I'm really looking forward to all of this. So how many of you are ready for a card to be pulled? Just let me know when you're ready, and we will begin that process as well. So, you know, we have all those classes that are coming up, and you know, there's so much change. I'm here to support you. You need to know that. A lot of trauma, and it's nice to see some healers in the past week. I really want to talk about this, and I feel like I got to find a way to get all the excitement into a shorter video on this aspect. And how do we create a responsible, sustaining, and safe environment for those who come to us, while minimizing predators coming in and seeking more prey to prey upon. So thank you, Julie Woods. I'm calling you out for bringing more attention to this subject, and I thank you for that. So it's going to be exciting times, and I'm looking to make a secondary video on that more as more time comes. So who's ready for a card to be pulled for the day? So I'm not sure who this is for, but I am feeling, okay, who is this for? Okay, here we go. Actually, 2 kind of fell out. So, very interesting, kangaroo and elephant. So I see kangaroo and elephant, one, that, so this may be for you, that in order to create and change circumstance, it has to stem from a place of gratitude. Gratitude from not just, oh, I'm grateful for my friends, oh, I'm grateful for this and that. It's about gratitude for the sake of being grateful and for no other reason. And when you can come from a place of gratitude that just emanates from your heart, you will overcome all those obstacles, I promise you. And that's what the elephant's there. It's the sturdiness, it's the community. And you will be able to overcome those obstacles. So you will be able to do that. And, you know, a lot of great things are going to come. It's just a matter of having the faith and putting your faith in there and not in the fear, but from a place of gratitude. And the next card, it looks like we got some doggies that are showing up here. They just arrived back. So let's see here. I'm not sure who this is for. This is for somebody out there that's listening that may not be afraid to step forward. And that's to surrender to the self-esteem aspect. Knowing when you can, surrender to that. Hi, babies. I got Ava and Rufus that just came in, so we're all excited. Right, Ava? Did you have a good little walk? So, you know, if you are suffering from low self-esteem, that is like putting a knife right directly to your heart. So it's important that you know and understand, and we talked about this even in the church today, that you are God's perfect child. And don't let anybody tell you otherwise. And that when you can surrender to all the magical things of who you are, then all great things are going to happen. Self-esteem, a lot of times, lack of, has, stolen your joy, stolen all of our joy, stolen the magic. It's our, we've turned our power over, but it's time to take it back. So it's surrender that lack. Surrender that. Ask for help. Ask for the divine to come in and help you with that, because you are a magical being and you are worthy of all good things to happen, and I promise you on that. So, and I don't know if anybody else, because I know it's a little, everybody's probably watching the Patriots game, which I'm getting ready to do myself. So that will probably be it for today. And I'll be back probably sometime this week to talk more about the energies and to also talk about the ethical boundaries of, creating sacred, but not just sacred space, but a safe place. So I'll be calling out more healers on this aspect. And so I didn't actually look at it. I just put it back in there, so I'm sorry. And actually it fell down there. I have to go get the other one. So and I could probably put a comment under there once I end the video. And I'll also talk more about the women's retreat, because it is something that Spirit has been calling me to do more of. And it's calling more in sisterhood, more in community, how we heal together, how we have that support system where we can be vulnerable, where we actually administer more self-care to ourselves, not just to our physical body, but our mental, emotional body and our spiritual bodies. So it's really designed to hit all three of those bodies. So one of the things when you experience healing, it's important to heal on all three of those levels in order to become whole again. So it's about that wholeness, but also sisterhood and community. So I'm hoping you will join us. I'm hoping that you will share the word on that. We do have limited spots. We're capping it at 20 people for the retreat this year. So for October at least. And so I'm hoping that you will join us, and I will be speaking more on that this week. So I hope you enjoy the rest of your day and enjoy the game. Patriots go.